Okay, here we go. Welcome to the Mid-Ohio Valley Public Forum podcast. I'm Jennifer, and this podcast features issues of interest to the residents of the Mid-Ohio Valley, mainly encompassing Wood County, West Virginia, and Washington County, Ohio. Right now, with the coronavirus pandemic, civic life has changed greatly throughout our country.
This is a presidential election year, and one of the big changes is in how candidates are able to run for office. They can't get out and campaign the way they normally would. Usually, they'd be out there knocking on doors, going to soup bean dinners, kissing babies, shaking hands. None of that can happen right now.
So most of our initial podcasts will be interviews with candidates for local office. If you're a local candidate and you'd like to be interviewed on the show, and we haven't already contacted you, please reach out either by our Facebook page, that's MOV Public Forum, or you can reach us at movpublicforum@gmail.com.
Today we're interviewing Sherry Dugan. Sherry is running for mayor of Parkersburg, and we really appreciate you agreeing to be interviewed, Sherry. Thank you.
No problem.
We're going to dive right in. Do you have an elevator speech? If we were traveling on an elevator and you had 1 minute to convince me to vote for you, what would you say?
We are fired up. And that all has something it stands for: financial responsibility to the citizens of the city, infrastructure, taking care of our infrastructure, taking care of our rank and file employees. The economic development needs to grow, and obviously drugs, the opioid addiction, and unite Parkersburg.
So what's motivating you to run for office? What is the main reason you're putting yourself out there and running for mayor?
I've always been interested in politics. Briefly, my father was involved. I got involved. That said, Parkersburg is a wonderful place to live. I grew up here, and I think citizens need to start taking their town back or their city back and making it a place where we want to be, and we are growing and prospering.
What do you think you have to offer the residents of Parkersburg that your competition in the race might not?
Being a small business owner, which is always difficult sometimes, not difficult sometimes, but it's taxing. And that said, I've dealt with employees, and I know she has, but also dealing with business on that level. It's not a big business, it's a small business. Some days are good, some days are bad. So I have a good grasp on financial responsibility and how business works. And I also believe the city of Parkersburg, or any government, should be slightly run as a business. So I think my 40-some years owning a tiny little business and being involved in all the organizations that I've been involved in, president of different things, and I've had the leadership skills, I think that allows me a little head up.
What do you think is your wow factor? What is the thing that if someone found out that particular thing about you, it would make them go, wow, I really want to vote for her?
How about the stubbornness of trying to keep a small business going for 44 years? I really don't know if I have a wow factor. I listen to people. I believe in compromise. I want to hear all sides. And I believe that, if we can start working together, that's where we need to take this.
If you're elected, what is your single top priority that you want to accomplish during your term?
One thing?
Yeah, your top. You gotta choose
top.
one thing.
Well, it kind of goes hand in hand with everything. I would believe the economic development, simply because we do have a development department, and that is part of their responsibility, is trying to bring business in. And I'm not talking just minimum wage jobs. We need to bring some higher paying jobs in to be able to keep our children and our families in Parkersburg where they want to stay. And so probably economic development would be the one thing that I would be pushing for, which just leads us into the rest of them very quickly.
Mhm. What do you see as the three major problems facing Parkersburg, and what's your plan for handling those issues?
Well, I guarantee everyone said the first one would always have to be the opioid problem. We do have a problem. It's causing homelessness. In regards to that, our hands in the city are slightly tied based on federal and state regulations. But if we do want to have rehab centers and places for people to go, I do believe that they need to have an exit strategy. So if someone does not accomplish the goals in that program, then they do need to be sent back home. They don't need to be left out on the street for us to be taken care of. So obviously the opioid and the addiction problem is the first one. Infrastructure. Over many, many, many decades, I've watched many times where we've paved the road and then gone back in and dug it back up to fix the water line. Kind of makes more sense to me to start from the bottom up instead of top down. So infrastructure, and there's a lot of things that can be done in this. The financial responsibility, I have not really seen an openness to the citizens, letting them know what is actually happening financially with our city. And it is their city. If they want to know, they should have a right to that and access to all that information. And you only have to agree, right?
How do you feel about compromise?
Oh, I'm very big on compromise. I've always, in any organization or any office or presidency I've ever held, I'll listen to all sides. And then we just need to come to the table and figure out what is the best way to accomplish the goal for the betterment of the majority of the citizens and the betterment of the city of Parkersburg. So compromise is definitely, I don't believe in a dictatorship.
Do you think you play well with others?
My cat thinks so. I do. I think I work well with others. I mean, I've been president of, I won't go into like 6 or 8 different organizations over the years, and we've always been successful, between the JCs, the Junior League, the Elks, different things. I've been involved in volunteer stuff. I enjoy doing that. So yeah, I think I do play well with them.
So we've seen you at council meetings, so you're probably aware, but some voters may not. Parkersburg has a strong mayor form of government, which means the mayor is the head of the executive branch of city government with the power to appoint and remove department heads and other executive branch employees, as well as preparing and administering the multi-million-dollar city budget. Do you know approximately how many millions of dollars last year's budget was? And what
off the top of my head, no. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt, Jennifer.
That's okay. If it helps to answer the question, it was a total of around $33 million.
Yeah, I was going to say between 30 and 34, yeah.
Yeah, that's a big sticker. What executive and financial experience do you have that will help you in managing these people and the money?
Well, when you run a small business and you have to figure out what bills to pay, when, where, and how, you get a very good feel for how to handle money. And I also remember when I was on city council, the city did not have that kind of money. It was quite a bit less. And it was sometimes, but rob from Peter to pay Paul, but we always got everything accomplished that needed to be done. That's where the financial responsibility comes in. Not spending money willy-nilly just because, I think this is a good idea. It needs to be looked at. It needs to be considered strongly. Is it something that we have to have, or would that money be better spent fixing a road or fixing the Memorial Bridge that's still ours? Whatever the issues are at that particular time. So yeah, I mean, I think a good financial person will look at all avenues before they make a decision and just go off and spend money.
How do you see the job of mayor changing in this post-COVID-19 world?
I think there will probably, social distancing will probably not go away anytime soon. I've always been a hands-on person. I really can't see my changing much of my activities, even as mayor. I mean, even now, I'm still taking care of my 90-year-old mother. The store is still open. I kind of envy you people that get to stay home. I'd like to do it one day anyway. But I don't see, other than being cautious with what we're doing, I don't see my role being any different.
What do you think your worst enemy would say is your worst quality?
Probably pushed back into a corner, I tend to come out fighting. And then so that would probably be the worst thing that I do. So I want to, when I get back in a corner, it's just a normal thing.
What do you think is your best quality?
I believe in working with everybody and trying my best to accomplish the goals at hand through cooperation, which includes a compromise again too.
Okay. Political office holders are leaders. How would you describe your leadership style?
I think we just did that, didn't we?
A little bit, but if you'd like to elaborate.
Well, I mean, like I said, all the volunteer organizations I've been involved in have taught me so many ways of doing different things, but they all come around to the same circle. And listening is the biggest thing. You need to listen. If you're not listening, you're not hearing sometimes what people are saying. So listening would be a very, very good place to start. Compromise, once again, I know that word keeps coming up. But then sometimes just you, as a leader, sometimes you just have to bite the bullet, take the hard decision, and go with it if you think that's what's best for the business.
What do you feel are your personal core values?
Honesty. Unfortunately, I've been accused too many times of being honest to a fault. I am a very financial person when it comes to taking care of money. You could give me $10 and tell me I couldn't spend it, and I died, I'll probably still have it in my wallet. So, I mean, I'm very financially astute. I'm very honest. I'm very caring. I want people to succeed, and I want them to be happy, and I want this town to grow. And we can't do that if we're all nitpicking at each other.
Do you know your win number? And if so, what is it?
I don't actually know my win number because it would also depend on how many people actually voted. And that can change. I've seen too many elections where, it's a high turnout and that's a larger number. I would say in this election, and if people do send in their absentee ballots, which that's not always going to happen, probably between 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 would probably do it. But like I said, that's a question that's not really easy to answer. It's not knowing who's going to vote.
One more than the next person, right?
Yeah, one more, absolutely.
What do you think you will enjoy the least if you serve as mayor?
You know what? I can't think of anything, honestly. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I want to be involved. Time would probably be the only thing. I do have a 90-year-old mother. trying to juggle that. That would be my least favorite thing. Okay, Mom, you're going to have to get up early, so I got to give you your pills so I can go to work. That would probably be the only thing I could think of that would really be a problem.
What excites you the most about serving as mayor?
Turning the town around and becoming a unified city again and growing the city back to where it was like when I was a child. And the population and the businesses and helping make us the third largest city in the state of West Virginia would be really.
As both a mayor and citizen of Parkersburg, you would be a visible ambassador of the city. Tell us what you'd say to other people about what you're most proud of about Parkersburg.
The people. It's a great place to live. It's a great place to raise children. It's not right at the moment with, I understand we do have an epidemic, but when the opioid epidemic and the homelessness, but if that can be rectified, it's a wonderful, I hate to say a small town, but we still have a small town feel. And it's a wonderful place to be raising children and making friends and just enjoying life.
So you've gotten through the gauntlet. Those were our hard questions. We're going to toss some softballs at you now. This is our wild card section. What is your favorite thing or place in our city?
You're going to laugh at me. I have a history degree, so I love the old homes and the cookhouse. Being a junior league member, I love going to the cookhouse. I know it sounds silly, but I like history.
No, I live in a home that's more than 100 years old. I completely understand. Yeah.
Yep, ditto.
Good.
So what are you passionate about?
I am passionate about people coming together and working together for a common cause. Any organization I belonged in, the more you got involved, the more fun you had, the more you could accomplish, the more. So I just think people are our resource.
What do you do in your off time? If you had a day and you didn't have to work, what would you do with it?
Curl up in bed and just binge watch.
So what are you binge watching? What are you binge watching?
It really wouldn't even matter. Just not to have to go anywhere would be a novel concept. Or read a good book. I like to read.
Okay. And what is most unique about you?
Well, I don't know how to answer that, but most people would probably just tell you my sheer stubbornness. I don't take no for an answer if I believe in it, and I will fight to accomplish the goals that I set out to accomplish. That probably would be it.
All right.
All right.
Well,
yeah.
Over to you, Jen. Sorry.
You're fine. So now we want to give you some space. So we're going to give you a few minutes to tell us and the voters anything that you feel we need to know, including how to get more information on your campaign, how to get in touch with you, donate, get involved, etc.
I am on Facebook, Sherry Dugan. You can message me. I'll even give you my cell phone number, 304-482-4866. And last resort effort, that's going to sound like a plug, but it's not. I'm always at the store during lunch, so you can always go to Das Rickhouse and find me. There's signs there, everything else. So yeah, everything is, I'm pretty easy to track down.
All right. Well, we appreciate your time and your interest in talking to us and running for mayor. And we wish you the best of luck. Stay safe. Wash your hands.
Believe me, when you're working in food, I've been doing there is no skin left. I promise.
All right. Well,
Thanks so much. Have a great night.
Thank you, girls. Bye. What do I do? Take it off? Okay.